What if I told you the reason people lose interest in you has nothing to do with your looks, that the most attractive people in the world aren't making this mistake, and that you're doing it every single day? Your need for validation is killing your attractiveness. Let me ask you something. Do you catch yourself constantly checking if they've texted back? Do you analyze every word of their messages, looking for hidden meanings? Are you bending over backwards just to get that smile, that nod of approval? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you're caught in the validation trap, and it's destroying your dating life. Today, I'm breaking down the number one dating mistake that's making you unattractive, your addiction to external validation. I'll show you the 5 ways this shows up, why it repels the exact people you want to attract, and exactly how to break free from this cycle. This isn't about games or tricks. This is about reclaiming your worth. But first, understand this. The need for validation isn't your fault. We're wired for connection, for approval. In prehistoric times, being rejected from the tribe meant death. Your brain is still running that ancient programming. But in dating, this instinct is sabotaging you. When your self-worth is tied to external validation, you're less selective. You settle for people who don't deserve you. You tolerate behavior you shouldn't. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. They weren't desperately trying to impress you. They were fully themselves. Take it or leave it. That quality is rare, and it's powerful precisely because it's rare. First warning sign, you're over-accommodating. Picture this. You're on a date. They suggest a restaurant you hate, but what do you say? Sounds perfect. I love that place. You nod along to opinions you disagree with. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You shapeshift into whoever you think they want, and you think they can't tell. They can, every single time. The truth is, when you abandon your preferences to please someone else, you're telling them 2 things. 1, you don't value yourself enough to stand in your truth. And 2, they're not getting to know the real you anyway. What's the point of winning someone over if they're falling for a person that doesn't exist? Second warning sign, you're always available. When they text, you respond instantly. When they ask to meet, your schedule magically clears. You're dropping everything, friends, family, work, your own needs, just to accommodate their last-minute plans. You think you're showing interest. What you're actually showing is desperation. Value has always been connected to scarcity. When you make yourself too available, you communicate that your time has no value, that you have nothing else going on, that they are the center of your universe before they've earned that place. Ask yourself, would someone living a rich, fulfilling life drop everything for someone they barely know? The most attractive people aren't sitting by their phones. They're out there living lives so compelling that others want to be part of them. Third warning sign, you're seeking constant reassurance. Do you still like me? Are we okay? You seem distant. If these phrases are regular parts of your dating vocabulary, you're bleeding attractiveness by the second. Confidence isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. When you repeatedly ask for reassurance, you're telling the other person that your sense of security is their responsibility. You're handing over your power. And nobody, I mean nobody, wants that burden. The most attractive quality in dating isn't your looks, your job, or your bank account. It's your unshakable sense of self. When you know your worth isn't determined by someone else's opinion of you, that's when people can't get enough of your presence. Fourth warning sign, you're overanalyzing everything. Their text took an hour longer than usual. They used a period instead of an exclamation point. They didn't compliment your new haircut. And now you're spiraling, creating stories, assuming the worst. This mental noise isn't just exhausting you, it's changing how you show up. When you're caught in the analysis paralysis, you're not present, you're not listening, you're not connecting. You're too busy gathering evidence for a case nobody asked you to build, and presence, true, undistracted presence, is rare enough these days to be your superpower. Think about it. In a world where everyone is half present, constantly checking their phones, what happens when you give someone your complete, undivided attention? It's intoxicating. It creates a bubble where only the 2 of you exist. But you can't create this magic when you're trapped in your head, analyzing and overthinking. Fifth warning sign, you're afraid to set boundaries. They cancel plans last minute. Again, they say something that hurts you. They cross a line you're not comfortable with. But you say nothing, because you're terrified that enforcing your boundaries means losing them. Here's the brutal truth. Boundaries aren't just healthy, they're sexy. When you clearly communicate what's acceptable and what isn't, you demonstrate self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of all attraction. The right person doesn't want a doormat. They want a partner who knows their worth and expects to be treated accordingly. So what's the solution to all of this? The validation detox. Step 1. Reconnect with your intrinsic value. Your worth isn't determined by swipes, likes, or someone's opinion of you. It's your birthright. It exists independent of external feedback. Spend time alone. Get comfortable with your own company. Learn to approve of yourself first. Step 2. Build a life you're genuinely excited about. Develop passions that have nothing to do with dating. Nurture friendships. Create work you're proud of. When your happiness isn't dependent on romantic validation, paradoxically, you become infinitely more attractive. Step 3. Practice authentic communication. Say what you mean what you say. Stop censoring yourself. Yes, this is scary. Yes, you might lose people, but those aren't your people. The right connections will be drawn to your authenticity like moths to flame. Start small. Next time you're asked where you want to eat, give your honest answer. These small moments of truth build the muscle of authenticity. Remember, every time you hide parts of yourself to be more likable, you're actually becoming less attractive to the right people. Step 4. Embrace rejection as redirection. Every no is guiding you toward your right yes. When you're no longer terrified of rejection, you stop contorting yourself to avoid it, and that freedom is felt by everyone around you. Rejection isn't failure. It's filtering. It's the universe's way of saying not this one. Start collecting rejections like badges of honor. Each one means you were brave enough to show up as yourself. Finally, step 5. Treat dating as exploration, not validation. You're not there to prove your worth. You're there to discover compatibility. Shift your focus from do they like me to do I like them, from am I good enough to are we right for each other. This mental shift transforms how you show up. Suddenly, you're not performing. You're connecting. You're not pleasing. You're discerning. Let me tell you something that might be hard to hear. The moment you stop needing someone's validation is the moment they start wondering what makes you different, what makes you so secure, so complete within yourself, what gives you that quiet confidence that doesn't need constant feeding. There's an unmistakable power in someone who knows their worth isn't up for debate, someone who brings their full, authentic self to every interaction, take it or leave it, someone who understands that the right person doesn't need to be convinced. I've seen this transformation hundreds of times. People who were constantly chasing, constantly anxious, constantly trying to prove themselves, who finally realized their inherent value wasn't tied to anyone else's opinion. And suddenly, dating became easier, more fun, less draining. They stopped walking on eggshells. They stopped rehearsing conversations. They stopped obsessing over text messages. Instead, they started showing up fully, speaking their truth, setting clear boundaries, walking away when those boundaries weren't respected. And like magic, the quality of people they attracted completely transformed. Because here's the truth. Nobody tells you about dating. You attract what you believe you deserve. When you're addicted to validation, you'll accept crumbs of attention and call it a feast. But when you're grounded in your worth, you won't settle for anything less than someone who recognizes and celebrates that worth right alongside you. So I'll ask you again, what if the most attractive version of you isn't the one desperately seeking approval? What if it's the one who already approves of themselves? What if your need for validation isn't your deepest truth, but your biggest obstacle? Stop performing. Start being. Stop seeking. Start living. The validation you're chasing out there, it's been waiting inside you all along. And when you find it there, that's when others will finally see what makes you irresistible.